Hi everyone, I'm Eric.
And I'm Craig.
And we are Whose Turn Board Gaming. Well, at least two of the three. Today, we're going to be talking about the Stone Age expansion. So, we're just a little bit different because this is expansion. We've already talked about the game. If you want to see the review, go ahead and click on the icon up above, wherever that's going to be. If you want to see playthrough, click that icon as well because it'll be somewhere in that. For this video, we're just going to be talking about the expansion itself, what it kind of changes in the game, what our thoughts are on the changes, if they're good or bad, everything like that, but then also if you should consider getting it. So we're just going to kind of go right into it, right off the bat, with what the game changes. I will be mainly talking about it. Craig, you played it just a couple of times, right?
Yeah, like twice.
Yeah, I played it a lot. I enjoy it, but I'll get into my thoughts on it a little bit later. Let's just go into what it changes. As you see here, there's going to be a little board that is separate. It does kind of have the wheat counter as well. This goes on top of the actual game board itself. It does kind of take over where the food goes, where the Love Shack is, and where the wheat field is. As you see, there's an extra spot now for jewelry. The expansion adds an extra resource you can gather called jewelry, which you can get whenever you go for food. It has the same dividing factor as food, so you can get one jewelry for every two, which is nice for easy to get. You can exchange at any point 2 jewelry, depending on where you are in the track, I should say, for it's a 2-to-1 for 1, 2, and 3, and then 1-to-1, and then a 1-to-2 on 9 and 10. You go up on this one by placing 2 workers on the actual jewelry hut. I think you go up by 2 every single time. I'll double check on that here in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 when you go on there. There are cards that let you go up by 1. There are, of course, markers now to get on that. So it does add an extra layer for more points. It does add an extra viability for getting more cards. It adds a 5th card, I should say, for you to be able to purchase. So it does add quite a bit with just adding jewelry. It has a couple new huts, it has a couple new cards, it has an extra spot. It's really nice. That being said, overall, I don't think jewelry really changes the game. I don't think it adds anything that is, hey, it makes the game 100% more viable. I think it just adds an extra element to an already well-rounded game.
Yes, that's what I would say on it. I haven't played the expansion a whole lot, but from my experience, it's a fun element. It changes it a little bit, but Stone Age base game is such a good, well-rounded game that you don't really need the expansion. But if you really love the expansion, it's definitely one you should try and get a hold of. It might be a little harder to find right now, but yeah, I've played it once or twice. I do like the idea that it adds the extra card that can only be bought with jewelry, and then something unique that isn't on anything else is the ability to get an extra card for 3 extra jewelry. Good to have it. It gives you another reason to actually drop extra units up into the field, into the food or jewelry field instead of like something else, because if you do get up in the wheat, you almost would never even consider going to the wheat field or the food hunting grounds. So,
and see, that's why I think I have such a problem with it, is that it adds on to something that already you didn't really already go there. Like, you went there for food, you didn't go for anything else. Going there for jewelry doesn't make a lot of sense when all you're doing is getting other resources that you can spend somewhere else. Once you get up to that point where you can spend 1 jewelry for 2 resources, and it's any resources, you can treat them like wild, it makes sense, but it takes so much extra time just to do that by the time you actually get to that point, everyone else already has a pretty good lead. So yeah, you can play catch up really quick, but at what cost? So I just think that it didn't add anything completely like game changing to the game. So, because there are some expansions that do that where you can't play the game without it anymore, but this is not one of those. I think Craig hit it on the head. I think he maybe misworded it, but I definitely think that if you love Stone Age, by all means get the expansion if you can find it. It is worthwhile having if you love the base game like we do. But if you kind of just play occasionally on Stone Age, or you don't really like it all that much, or you have other games that you play way more, definitely give it a pass. I would say maybe like a 7. A solid 7. Like just a flat out 7.0. Something that's good, but doesn't change the game enough to make it great. So
yeah, Stone Age was like 7.5. Having the expansion might bump it up to like a 7.7, but I don't it's not something that's just like game breaking where you need to have the expansion in order to really play it because it balances out or fixes something that was previously broken. It just adds something new to it, really.
Yeah. It does add a 5th player, I forgot to mention that, which is nice. But that makes it from what could be like about a 90-minute game, 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how many people you have, to a 2-hour game. It does take a lot longer with that. It is nice because it gives you that extra spot for options with 5 people, and it's fun to play with 5 people, but I just don't think it really justifies it. If you have a 5-person group and you love playing Stone Age, this is a must-buy for sure, because you have to in order to be able to play with a 5th player. But otherwise, I would say it's just for people who really love the game, not really for every single person who buys it. So
yeah.
Did double check on that? Yes. When you put 2 people on here, it does move you up 2 on the merchant track down here. It should be noted that when you trade the jewelry in, you can only trade them in for a civilization card or for an actual building. So 2 jewelry for 1 resource, any 1 resource you want. You can do that only when you are buying a building or a card. One other thing to mention for the new cards, or for the new buildings, some of them come with places you can actually place your own meeples, which only you can place those on there. They are on your board, and only you can do that. So you could have 3 people on here and have a dividing factor for 2 for wood. So it does add a couple of those things, but it's still not enough to really make or break the game, in my opinion. So yeah, those are our thoughts on Stone Age, the expansion. Overall, definitely give it a look out if you will enjoy the game a lot. Would recommend getting it, but otherwise just kind of pass on it. It does all right. So
yeah.
Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to leave a comment down below, if you have it, if you enjoy it, what do you like about it? Are you interested in it? Anything like that, any questions you have on it, by all means leave that in the comments down below. We can definitely address those. What are your thoughts? Do you like that? I don't think that jewelry makes that much of a difference in this game, but that's just me being a guy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the biggest turning reason for me would be to buy it would be if you need to get that 5th player in there.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. If you want to hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. We're just kind of starting off on our YouTube board game journey, so go ahead and follow us along with that. Otherwise, that's about all there is. So thank you so much for watching. I've been Eric.
And I'm Craig.
And whose turn?